Twitter now allows users to completely disable the replies on a tweet, meaning you can say whatever you want without being challenged or abused. And the Stranger Things writers have taken advantage of that feature recently. The account told followers that they'd reveal all of Season 4's secrets if someone simply replied to them. While they're obviously unlikely to reveal anything specific about the new season before it arrives on Netflix, Riveted has come up with ways Stranger Things 4 could change everything. Erica's plotline. Erica was introduced as a minor character, but like other minor characters, she had the potential to grow into something bigger. She was given more screen time in Season 3, and the writers have said they plan on developing the character even further. Well, we already have a hunch on how that may play out. Last season, viewers saw Dustin, Steve, and new character Robin work together to decipher Russian interference that Dustin was picking up on his walkie-talkie. The trio then found a Russian lab underneath the Starcourt Mall and enlisted the help of Erica, Lucas's sister, to sneak their way in. The show's comic book spin-off may have teased a potential plotline for the upcoming season involving Steve, Robin, Dustin, and Erica. In the comic, Erica begins a side business selling toxic-looking acid from the Russian lab underneath Hawkins Mall, which she managed to smuggle out during Season 3's finale. When Dustin finds out what she plans to do, he grabs Steve and Robin with the intention of stopping Erica before it's too late. They succeed in putting an end to the operation, and the comic ends with the four playing video games. We know how the show doesn't necessarily follow the comic books, so they could probably let Erica explore a darker side, and that could potentially change everything. The Upside Down. One of the greatest mysteries in Stranger Things is the Upside Down, and hopefully, in the upcoming season, fans will get to learn more about the mysterious place. However, as we wait, we are allowed to come up with our own theories about the Upside Down. According to one fan, the Upside Down could not only be an alternate dimension, but a future version of Hawkins itself. Perhaps in this dimension, the Demogorgon wasn't defeated, but wreaked havoc on the town. Think Thanos with the Avengers, Infinity War, and the theory goes on to suggest that in the new world, Will evolved into the Demogorgon because of everything he had to go through. Will's among the only characters with a close relationship to the Upside Down, and this theory explains why Will is so special. Perhaps the Demogorgon aims to ensure its own future by transforming Will and ensuring the Mind Flayer can conquer this dimension too. Some fans have been concerned that Eleven would evolve into the show's next villain, but Will could also be the Stranger Things character destined for darkness. And that brings us to another point that could potentially change everything in Stranger Things 4. Eleven is the villain. If you may recall, the Mind Flayer attacked Eleven at Hopper's cabin, grabbing her by the ankle. With the help of the rest of the group, Eleven was freed from the creature, but it left her with a deep wound on her leg. When the group made it to Starcourt Mall, they realized that Eleven's wound was pulsating and had something inside, causing her a lot of pain. A part of the Mind Flayer was left in her leg when it bit her, and even though she took it out, Eleven ended up losing her powers. So the Mind Flayer might have had something to do with it, possibly infecting her. Supposing it succeeded in affecting Eleven through that bite, it's possible that that was the reason for her losing her powers. But it can also bring Eleven's powers back, but only if she can come back as the bad guy. It could be similar to Will in Season 2, who was used as a spy in the human world, only that Eleven has a bigger advantage as she has many useful powers that the Mind Flayer would need. Stranger Things has relied on Eleven to save the world in the previous seasons. Imagine a situation where the world would need saving from El. Eleven becoming a villain would be the biggest twist the series has had so far. This would also justify Hopper's return in Season 4, as he could be the only one to save her from the influence of the Mind Flayer. What do you think? Is Eleven capable of going full-on evil? Okay, forget Eleven for a second. How about we bring another evil on board that could totally change everything? The Beholder. The past 3 seasons of Netflix's Stranger Things have seen Hawkins, Indiana attacked by creatures inspired by Dungeons & Dragons. Both of the main supernatural threats in the show thus far, the Demogorgon and the Mind Flayer, have been named after well-known monsters in D&D. The tradition began when Eleven used the boys as miniature of the Demogorgon to represent the creature stalking Hawkins after escaping from the Upside Down. When the Mind Flayer was revealed in Season 2, it was named more purposefully after the D&D creatures of the same name. A monster inspired by the Beholder would be a great choice for its next villain. Beholders first appeared in D&D's Greyhawk supplement in 1975 and have remained a popular breed of antagonist since. The only issue with featuring another D&D-inspired monster is that the reference would have to be licensed, as the Beholder is an original creation of the game, as opposed to something like the Demogorgon. However, considering it's Stranger Things, that wouldn't be a problem. The owners already allowed Pixar to use the Beholder in Onward, so Stranger Things could be granted the rights. The Beholder, with its many eyes, could literally change everything. Hopper's clone. At the end of the 3rd season, fans were left concerned about the fate of Jim Hopper. Thanks to the trailer, fans now know without a shadow of a doubt that Hopper is alive. But the real question is, how did he survive that explosion? Additionally, how were they able to get him out and bring him all the way to Russia without anybody else noticing a thing? Another question raised by the trailer, why is Hopper's head shaved? Given that it appears to be cold where he is, it doesn't seem likely that it has been done for his comfort. It is possible that the Hopper being kept prisoner in Russia is not the real one, but a clone. In Season 3, viewers followed Billy Hargrove's transformation after his encounter with the Mind Flayer. Billy was taken to the Upside Down, where he came across a clone of himself after the Mind Flayer planted a part of itself inside him. The Hopper in Russia could be a clone created by the Mind Flayer. Cloning Hopper specifically would also help the Mind Flayer attract Eleven, given the strong bond between the two, allowing it to get its revenge after all those times Eleven got in the way. Viewers were quick to point out how the Season 4 teaser already has The Thing vibes, set in a snowy, isolated place where a dangerous and mysterious creature is being kept, and the show also features clones, so it wouldn't be surprised if Stranger Things borrowed the concept. However, if Hopper survived thanks to a safe zone in the lab and was mistaken by a Russian scientist and taken to Russia, then the purpose of a Jim Hopper clone would be different. Either way, it completely changes the dynamics of the 4th season. Time travel. Along with psychic powers and interdimensional monsters, the show's creators initially planned to include aliens and time travel in Stranger Things. We've always known that time travel could be introduced in Stranger Things, and Season 4 could be the best time to do this. For one, time travel would certainly help explain the surprise reappearance of the Demogorgon. The creature was thought to have been destroyed, and its return in Season 3 was completely baffling. In our time travel theory, we are assuming that everyone is somehow caught in a time loop, and the kids in Hopper have traveled to prevent the Russians from using the machine to begin with. It wouldn't be the first time a sci-fi fantasy series has used time travel to get out of tough spots, and fans have speculated that might be the case since the end of Season 3. In fact, series creators, the Duffer Brothers, may have even hinted at time travel during an interview, stating that next season's storyline would open up in terms of allowing portals into areas outside of Hawkins. It's possible these portals will allow for the formal introduction of time travel. The writers of Stranger Things also fueled speculation back when they shared a post online referring back to the very first episode. Specific mention of the date when it was set led some to wonder whether this was a clue hinting how Season 4 might travel back to the very beginning of the show. Also, Hopper talked about turning back the clock in his letter, and it would give them a way to save Hopper if he actually died. The purpose of this could be to stop the Upside Down from ever being discovered if things get too out of hand, and they can't stop the Mind Flayer in the next season. Papa is coming back. Dr. Brenner, also known as Papa, was the mastermind behind the experiments occurring in Hawkins. As you should know by now, no one is ever really dead in Hawkins unless you see a body. Ray Carroll, former Department of Energy agent in the show, claimed that Brenner was still alive. In 2017, executive producer Sean Levy also told Collider that the character is not dead, so there's a real chance that we haven't seen the last of the evil doctor. His return in Season 4 could also possibly change everything. Before it was revealed that Jim Hopper is the American prisoner, many fans believed it was actually Brenner, and this can still be true. Brenner could either be another prisoner or could be working with the Russians, which would explain why they know about the Upside Down and how they're able to keep a Demogorgon. There are some theories on Reddit suggesting how Brenner will bring back Eleven's powers in Stranger Things 4. It's suggested that after suffering for her entire life, the trauma of losing Hopper, Mike, and her powers will break Eleven, and she'll end up in the mental hospital of Hawkins. It's unclear if Brenner is in Hawkins, Russia, or Upside Down. But wherever he is, he's going to be back, and he'll treat Eleven to help her revive her powers. Russia changes everything. Stranger Things Season 3 revealed that the Russians had been operating in an underground lab in Hawkins, and the mid-credit scene in the season finale showed that they're also experimenting on the Upside Down on the other side of the world. The biggest shakeup was the revelation that the Russians weren't just experimenting underneath Starcourt Mall, but also at a base in Kamchatka. From the trailer released by Netflix, we know that a lot of action will take place in Russia in Season 4. The upcoming installment is already looking for background actors 18 years old and older to play various roles. The casting call from Backstage revealed that filming for these actors will take place in Atlanta, Georgia, for 8 hours on still unspecified dates. They will reportedly play gymnasts, Russian types, and more. Whether these are Russian soldiers or civilians is unclear, but it somehow fuels fans' theory that Stranger Things Season 4 will involve a rescue mission for Jim Hopper. The mid-credit scene in Season 3 showed that the Kamchatka base is housing at least one Demogorgon, as well as various prisoners, of which some are being used to feed the monster. If the Russians are experimenting on people, just like Brenner and company at Hawkins' lab, then it's very likely that they already have their own gifted children. The reasons behind the efforts of the Russians to open various gates to the Upside Down are unknown, but the Russians definitely didn't come to play. What do you think the Russians want that could potentially change everything? Sound off in the comments section below. We obviously still have a lot of questions, but the good news is that we might get answers soon. It was recently announced that the cast and crew have been notified about the resumption of filming. As per The Hollywood Reporter, everyone is just waiting for the official call to return to the set, and they are expected to be back at work by September 17th. So what do you expect to happen in Stranger Things 4? Let us know in the comment section below, and don't forget to subscribe. This has been Riveted.